Historians aren't sure whether or not Robin Hood really existed. Certainly there are references to people with similar names to Robin Hood and people operating in similar areas to which those Robin Hood supposedly operated in. More importantly, Robin Hood is a popular English folklore story and it is known around the world. One thing is clear though, is Robin Hood wasn't a socialist. This common misconception, people on the left like this story because it makes them feel good about themselves. They feel themselves that they are some kind of Robin Hood, wanting to redistribute money from the rich and giving it to the poor. This is demonstrably wrong. This wasn't what happened through nearly any of the folklore storytellings. I mean, there's many different stories of Robin Hood. You know, this is a story that passes down word of mouth through many different generations. The stories diverge, but the common theme through most of the stories of Robin Hood is you have Robin Hood and you have his arch nemesis, who is the Sheriff of Nottingham. Now, the Sheriff of Nottingham is appointed by the monarch. Now, there is also a divergence between Robin Hood and the Sheriff of Nottingham in the fact Robin Hood, through most of the stories, is loyal to Richard I, aka Richard the Lionheart, and the Sheriff of Nottingham is loyal to Prince John. So Robin Hood is loyal to the rightful king, but the Sheriff of Nottingham is working for someone that is trying to basically topple Richard I. Now, the Sheriff of Nottingham is collecting taxes. He is collecting taxes on behalf of Prince John. He has the ability to seize property. This isn't just a normal story of, you know, someone who doesn't like the rich and wants to steal money from them. This is someone that is, Robin Hood is trying to take back taxes which he believes rightly belong to the people. Robin Hood isn't a socialist. If you want to be more accurate, probably more accurate to say, you know, he's small government, he is a libertarian. I mean, he's not an anarchist, right? Because he doesn't just believe in just total chaos, people doing whatever they want. He is loyal to Richard I, Richard the Lionheart, who's the rightful king in Robin Hood's opinion. But this idea that Robin Hood is some kind of socialist who's merely just stealing from the rich and giving it to the poor, that is wrong. That's demonstrably wrong. Robin Hood is taking back taxes which he believes are not being collected legitimately and giving this money back to the people. So when people use words like we have in the UK, the Robin Hood tax, this is a financial transaction tax which people, you know, the harder left elements want to impose this on the banks. So if banks, as they trade commodities, if they trade assets, they basically have to pay a tax each time they do that. You know, that isn't taken from the rich and given to the poor. That is taken from banks and given to government. That is nothing like the story of Robin Hood. You know, Robin Hood is taken from the government, taken from a tyrannical local government and giving it back to the people. There is nothing, when socialists use, you know, terms like Robin Hood, they are using it completely wrong. Robin Hood, if anything, was pro small government. He's pro legitimate government. He doesn't believe in this illegitimate government being sprung up by Prince John, and this is what the Sheriff of Nottingham is working for. Is completely wrong. Basically, Robin Hood in no way is a socialist. He more likely believes in smaller government, in legitimate government, taking taxes, keeping the tax burden as low as possible for the people. This is completely at odds with what modern socialists believe in the UK. He's not an anarchist. He's probably pro-monarchy, but fairly small government. Government was tiny, you know, back 700-800 years ago. Government was tiny anyway compared to what we see today. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Where do you stand on this Robin Hood thing? Is Robin Hood a libertarian? Is he right-wing? Is he left-wing? Or is he indeed a socialist, as many people on the left like to paint him as being? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Jason from Liberty Bunkers signing off, and I'll see you in the next video.
Me antagonist, birthright plantagenist. I'ma go to the streets with the savages, preach with a spanner and teach them what manners is. Each of you anarchists, understand we protect our majesties. You ain't breaching our palaces, gone weak with your fallacies. When it comes to these geeks, I'm an analyst, left-wing student mannequins. That's the beauty of the challenge, cause the challengers can't challengers talk about austerity while they leech for the cannabis. Went from reefer pacifists to Antifa masochists. When the